Hi everyone, it's John from What Up. Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to go over the most controversial scenes or plot lines from the Wheel of Time. We're not going to cover them all. We're going to cover basically the top three that I think are controversial. And we're going to see if maybe they should change them, cut them, or leave them as is. Also, don't forget to stay towards the end of the video. We have our community section where we're featuring the Dusty Wheel. It's another Wheel of Time YouTube channel, and they're fantastic. I was actually on their show earlier this week. The link to that is in the description box down below. If you haven't already watched that, go check it out. And please stay to the end for the community section because they are fantastic. Now, here's the other thing. Just before the community section, I'm going to do the draw for my giveaway for the What Up t-shirt and the What Upper bottle. So, stay tuned to the end of this episode for that, and I'll announce the winner, and I'll also give you information on how to contact me for that as well. Spoiler warning. Before we start, I'm going to be talking about things that go right up through till the end of the Memory of Light. It has to do with certain characters and their plot lines and story arcs. So I'm going to spoil some pretty big things in a major way for the entire book series. So if you haven't already read the series, or if you don't want anything spoiled for you, perhaps just click to the end towards the community section where I talk about the Dusty Wheel and the giveaway. And I'll give a timestamp for that down below. All right. On to the video. Alright, so controversial plot lines. This is how we're going to do this. I am going to give you a Cole's Notes version, so a brief synopsis of what the plot line is. We'd be here all night if we had to go through it. I've chosen three of my favorite controversial plot lines, and I don't say I like them a lot, it's just they seem to be the ones people talk about the most. And after I give you the little synopsis of it, I'm going to let you guys know what a lot of the fan base seems to think. I put out some polls on Twitter, I put some feelers out on Reddit, and I read a lot of message boards, and this just seems to be a general consensus between a lot of the fans. Now, I'm not saying that this is how everyone feels, and I'm not trying to throw everyone in one basket in this way, but it's a general sense of what I got from poking around online and talking to some people. And then I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on whether it could be cut or left out or amalgamated or any of those things. All right. Before we do start them, some of these topics are going to be sensitive and they may be uncomfortable for some of you. So if you don't like the idea of non-consensual sex, torture, things like that, imprisonment, kidnapping, be forewarned. We do talk about that in all of these plot lines. All right, very first plot line is Morghese and the White Cloaks. So, synopsis of this one is Morghese is the Queen of Andor. She's a very strong-willed woman. She is just and fair, and she rules her country and is, her family's well-respected, and Andor's well-respected. She's basically one of the best rulers that we meet in the books. And she becomes under the influence of one of the Forsaken. Now, Ravin uses compulsion on her and basically makes her his plaything. So that's the first little bit of terribleness with this. She's basically made into a puppet, does whatever he wants, and he uses her to strengthen his position among the Chosen and to help fight the Dragon Reborn. So that's the first kind of crappy thing that happens to Morghese. After that, she escapes Caemlyn. So she gets her nurse Leni, a few other people, talks to Basil Gill, the innkeeper from Caemlyn, and they leave the country. Not because she knows that she's under the influence of Forsaken, but she knows that she has lost control of her country and she needs to take it back from Gabriel, who she thought was her lover. So they go to Amadisia. Now, when they go there, that is basically the stronghold of the White Cloaks. She talks to King Aelron at first, but she's quickly spirited away from the palace by Pedron Niall, and who is the leader of the White Cloaks. And he gives her an option. Basically, he says, we will take the White Cloaks, we'll go back to Andor, we will clean house, give you your country back, put you back up on the throne, but White Cloaks now have free reign in Andor. So they can come and go as they please, and they are basically not really going to be, held up to Andorian law. That has never happened before. No foreign military has free reign in the country, and Morghese was considering it. However, while she was considering it, she ended up being tortured. So she was put to the question for quite some time, and she was tortured to speed her along her decision. Pedron Niall eventually was assassinated while she was there, and Eamon Valda took Morghese and raped her. So she went through torture and rape while she was there, and eventually she gave in to their demands, and she was going to do this. However, before she could do this, the Sanchan showed up, and she had to leave again. She had to escape again. So the whole plot line starts with her being, compelled to do any number of terrible things and ruining her family and her country's reputation, as well as her own reputation. She left the country. She went to talk to pretty much the most hated group of military people in Randland, and she was going to get their help. She was tortured there. She was raped there, and she was ready to basically do whatever they wanted, and then all that was taken away, and she didn't have the option to do that anyway. So, general consensus that I've seen from you folks on Twitter and on the internet and whatnot is that the plotline could probably be completely cut, but not for the reasons that you think. Not because it's controversial or because it deals with sensitive subjects or that it wouldn't play out well on the screen, because Robert Jordan, when he wrote these things, like a lot of the things in his books, he glossed them over. He didn't describe the torture, he didn't describe the rape, and it just kind of happens, and you read about it and you know it happens, but it's not really descriptive. On the show, they would have to show that stuff. I mean, it would make for very dramatic scenes on TV, very, very, horrible scenes to watch, but very dramatic. But the general consensus is it can be cut because it doesn't matter. None of this matters. So her whole story arc, where she leaves Andor, she goes to the White Cloaks, all that happens, it was all for nothing, just to break her down further, so that when she eventually met Perrin on the road, she would pretend to be a lady's maid to be safe. So the general thoughts are this could just be kept by the wayside. What are my thoughts? Well, I'm kind of along the same lines. If they need to save time, if they need to cut plot lines, this is one that they can definitely cut, because it doesn't do anything really to build Morghase's character. It doesn't really do anything other than show that the White Cloaks are beaten and broken by the Sanchan, and it just basically gives her to Perrin. The whole plot line is aiming her like an arrow at Perrin and fails, so she could be their lady's maid and be with them. Now that could just happen by her escaping Caemlyn and meeting them on the road. That's my thought. That's my thought on this one. All right. Let's get on to the next one. Tylan and Mat. I've recorded this section of the video a dozen times. This one's a little hard to talk about for a number of reasons. So I'll give you the Cole's notes, and then we'll see if I can get through it this time. Cole's notes in this one is it's not really a plot arc. It's more of bits and pieces of storyline. So Tylan is the ruler of Abu Dar, a very matriarchal society. So women take the lead, they're in charge, they run things, and men are more demure. That's how things work in that country. Mat is not used to that. Tylan takes a liking to Mat, and she courts him. So she gives him gifts and gives him things to try to get his attention and whatnot. She wants him to be her pretty, which basically means that she just wants to sleep with him a bunch. And then no real relationship other than that. Mat's very uncomfortable with all of the attention. Mat doesn't like being chased because men are supposed to do the chasing, and I think that's a direct quote from Mat in the books. Now, this isn't supposed to happen. Men are supposed to do the chasing. And eventually, Tylan gets fed up with the chasing and takes what she wants. She has her marriage knife, and she kind of, has sex with him at knife point. And that's the whole controversy here. And it happens a lot in a short period of time in the books. Eventually, Mat comes to have feelings for Tylan and really cares for her. That happens. But the crux of it is this. People online and people on Twitter and people on Reddit are very split down the middle, which is surprising because initially the sex is 100% non-consensual. Mat's being raped. That's just the way it is. Eventually, he becomes, he kind of laughs it off. He makes jokes about it and stuff, and you can tell that he's enjoying that type of relationship with Tylan. But it takes some time. That does not negate the fact that he was being raped at the first, though. Then there are other people that say that he liked it the whole time. So that's the controversy. How are they going to show this on the screen? And this is where I struggled making this part of the video. They can either go one or the other. They can't go down the middle and kind of make it ambiguous. They have to say Tylan's a rapist and she's raping Mat, or they have to say that Mat is just uncomfortable being chased and he does like the the rough bondage type sex that Tylan gets from him. I don't think they can do it like the books. The books, he wavered a lot back and forth, and like I said before, Robert Jordan left a lot of things up to the reader's imagination, so things weren't actively described. So you can imply that certain things happened, but it doesn't state it outright. So a lot of it is up to the reader's imagination. So you can imagine it full-on rape. You can also imagine it that maybe he is not, he is not being raped and he enjoys it. Although there's a lot of supporting evidence in the books that he is being raped and it's not consensual, because a lot of the other Ebodari women are disgusted by Tylan's behavior, that she shouldn't behave that way. And then Elaine makes light of it, which is also pretty terrible. So, my thoughts on this is a hard one. One way or the other. Just full on make her a disgusting, horrible person that does these things, or make it a very new and strange and exciting but scary relationship for Matt. Go one way or the other. Don't go down the middle like the books did, because it just leaves too much out. Relationships and things like this are messy and they're complicated, but I think for something like this, something that is this hot topic type thing for people, I think either going hard one way or hard the other way with no room for any kind of guessing would be the best way to go. Before we get to the community section and the winner of our What Up contest, I do want to let you know that if you like the content I'm producing, please click subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell. I put out 2 to 3 videos a week. They're not always in the same days, so you need that notification bell to know when I'm putting out content. Also, if you like this video, click the like button and leave a comment down below. Keeps the YouTube metrics happy, and I love reading all your comments as well. I may not reply to every single one of them, but I do read them all. Let me know what you think of this video, some of the topics we talked about. Let me know if you think I was right, I was wrong. If there's any other controversial plot lines or anything in the books that you'd like to see cut or abridged, leave all that down there. I love reading all that stuff. All right, so now let's get on to the winner of the contest. What I did is I counted the number of comments in the last video, because you need to be subscribed to the channel and comment on that video. And then I put it in a random number generator on my phone, and I clicked the generate button, and it gave me a number. Now, the person who left that comment is Chantilla Schultz. Congratulations, you've won the What Up t-shirt and the What Up bottle. So I'm going to leave a comment down below underneath your comments, letting you know you've won. And you can DM me on Twitter if you have Twitter. If not, we'll figure out a way to get in contact with each other, and I will ship that stuff off to you next week. Congratulations. Very limited edition. There's only a couple of them around. And I have a set. All right. So now we're going to get into the community section of our show. This week I'm going to feature the Dusty Wheel. The Dusty Wheel is another YouTube channel run by Matt. Now, I don't have anything but great things to say about this channel. They actually had me on one of their panels earlier this week. I participated in the show, and it was a blast. Sarah Nakamura, the book consultant for Wheel of Time TV show, called in. It was crazy. It was a whole lot of fun. I left the link to that episode down below. I've also left a link to their YouTube channel so you can check them out. Now I'm going to read you a little blurb that Matt sent me about their channel. Now, forgive me, I can't memorize this stuff. I have to read it off my phone. The Dusty Wheel is a weekly live call-in talk show about epic fiction fantasy, namely Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time. Its name comes from the second-to-last book in The Wheel of Time, Towers of Midnight, where the Dusty Wheel, located in Camelin, is referred to as the best place in Camelin to listen to rumors. Most of them are untrue, but that was half the fun. Owned by innkeeper Hatch, it is a meeting place of the greatest theoretical thinkers in Andor. True to form, it was based off the real-world community of Theoryland.com. And its founder, Matt Hatch, the host of the Dusty Wheel YouTube channel. Pretty cool, they named it all after him. It's awesome. Dusty Wheel's live format most often features panelists and special guests while covering Wheel of Time news, live adaptation of the Wheel of Time books, digging deep into the Wheel of Time topics and theories, and interviewing Wheel of Time content creators. Like me. I was on their show. It was pretty cool. And don't forget, they take calls live from fans around the world. That's true. Anyone can call in. It's really great. You should watch them. Matt was a beta reader for the Wheel of Time books by Brandon Sanderson, so he's pretty in the know. He's pretty awesome. And participates as a beta reader for all of Brandon books. Also, he's a member of the board of directors for JordanCon, a non-profit organization which runs a science fiction fantasy literature convention founded in honor of Robert Jordan. Now, I've never been to JordanCon. I've always wanted to go. Next few years would be the time to go for sure. So I'm hoping to get there. Now, I want you guys to go check out the Dusty Wheel. I've left all their information down below. They are a fantastic channel. They're great people. And I'll be on the show again in the next month or two. Or maybe a little bit longer. It depends when Matt can fit me in. But he definitely did say I'd be back on there. And I had so much fun last time. I'm sure I'll have fun again. All right. I want to thank you all for watching and sticking with us here to the very end. And here's to many more.